Alright, well hello everybody and welcome back down into my little basement garden laboratory area where today I am poking around underneath that rescued aloe because I just can't wait any longer really, and I'm dying to find out what's going on about those little aloe pups that we kind of discovered a couple weeks ago, and whether or not I'm going to be able to put little aloe plants around my house, or if I've got to put it back in the soil and wait for a while. So yeah, today I am pulling it out of its pot, probably a little abusively I suppose, and digging around to see what I can find and transplanting it again. May or may not be interested. Stick around if you are. Alright, here we go. So hopefully the lighting's a little bit better on the workbench today. Here is that monstrous aloe that for, whatever reason somebody gave up on. It's got some health issues. The middle of this looks rather nasty. But we figured what the heck when given the opportunity. And I brought it down here, planted it in, cut it up a little bit. And now we've got these popping out. So it's a little heavy because I watered it today before I decided I was going to do this. Need to pull this out, put the soil into something safe, and I want to see if I can start pulling these off just yet, because they kind of wiggle, but I just don't know, and I'd like to find out. So in order to pull this out, I've just kind of taken my planter, put it on its side, I went around and pushed on the edge of it, and I have been able to, thanks to the top being missing on this particular specimen, just kind of pull it out from there. Of course it's stuck now. It was sliding out though, I swear. Anyway, that's how I got it out, and I'll show you what it looks like in a second. Thing has got some weight to it, I'll give it that. Oh, I got the roots way down there. Off to the side. I guess we'll just put the base off to the side for now too. And this, my friends, is how you make a mess. My soil is crumbling. But it looks like those pups are a lot larger than I initially thought. I'm going to do this with two hands so I can contain my mess a whole lot better than I currently am. This is why I do this in bare space. And we'll get right back to looking at this plant. So when this plant came to live with us, there was no root mass on it at all. It was just kind of a stump of where the roots used to be, and that rotted out chunk in the core there. So this is all, I don't know, I'd say probably within 3 or 4 months growth. I have to scroll back in my channel to find out when I actually did start this, but yeah, there were no roots on it, and there were none of these pups. So I guess these two are kind of the most by themselves. Let's see what happens if I just gently peel one of these off. Can I do that? Or is this another two-handed thing? Oh, broke that one. That's not good. I should probably be doing this with two hands. Yeah. Alright, well. Looks like today is more for entertainment value than anything else, but... So I think I broke that one off too. So I guess what I'm going to do, have to do, is I'll replant these into something on their own to see if they can come back to life. And I don't know. Kind of want to try again with two hands and get back to you, and yet at the same time feel like, Mr. Bear, leave well enough alone. It's not really how I do things though, but yeah, not quite sure how to do this. I just kind of assumed they would break right off and there'd be some root mass on there, but I was right about the break right off part. Okay, I'm going to try some of this with 2 hands and get back to you. Alright, so a little bit of violence and probably unnecessary abuse later. I did get the rest of the pups off of here, but I ended up using a large old kitchen knife, just kind of slicing them off as a singular group in an attempt to get some roots, because I tried pulling a few more off with 2 hands and being a little more gentle about it, and they broke off just like the other ones. So I am doubtful but hopeful that those will produce some roots. I am a little more hopeful that this will, at least come to life and do something. And, well, that's a lot more root mass than it had the first time I put it in this pot, so it'll probably come back to life. I'd say the odds are pretty good. So I've got to bury this thing back down to at least keep it going. And we will check back on things once I've got stuff kind of plunked away. I wonder about sticking one of these in the aquaponics. It's aloe. That can't really hurt anything, right? We'll just kind of wander over here, and with my usual sort of less than graceful ways, dig down till I get to the water, stuff it in there. I don't know, that might be a little bit moist for a succulent, but we'll see how it goes. Alright, back over to the table, I should say the bench, when I'm done. I don't know, what do y'all think? Is that going to work? That'd be a fun one for the comments below. Let me know whether or not that'll root or rot. Alright. Okay, so I've got this back basically how it was, except, with roots now. And then a couple of these little ones that just broke off at the base. I got in this little tiny shot glass size one, slightly larger one here, and then we got this one here that I don't know. I'm gonna stuff in some soil anyway, but I'm not counting on. However, I was able to break that cluster apart. I have 4 here that do have at least some sort of root attached to them. This is the strangest of them all, though. It's hanging on by a thread, but it's a monster cluster of roots. I'll be quite curious to see what comes of that. So I'm just going to grab some of the old broken down Pepper Red Solo double cups, fill them up with some soil. Those are on their way. Hopefully, theoretically, maybe. I don't know. Let me know down below, right? So at the end of the day, after all of my messing around, this rescued plant here that was basically garbage has, gone back into its planter. It's set back a few weeks, month maybe. But it has given us 4 here that all have roots. So back in the soil now. Hopefully they're going to do all right as, independent little plants. We've got 3 up here that I just don't know about. I mean, this one's got enough green on it. I think that it'll probably live long enough to shoot some roots. This one, well, those are both pretty small, so I'm not feeling too sure about that one. And we've got one without any roots sitting in the aquaponic garden. That is basically the flip of a coin, will it root or will it rot? So, yeah, interesting. Hopefully we've got a lot more aloe vera plants and maybe a bit more of an aquaponic education out of this. Just gonna have to see how it goes. Other little clones I did today. Yeah, I am particularly curious about this though. Will an aloe vera root in aquaponics? Alright. So I guess this is where I do the wrap up for today's video. Thank y'all for joining me. If you're still with me, if you're new here, feel free to hit that subscribe button. I do stupid stuff to plants all the time just to find out what's going to happen to the poor plant. So you never know. You might be educated, you might be entertained, you might be somewhere in the middle. Not much else to watch these days, so why not? If you do enjoy the content, yeah, give it a like, give it a share, do all that happy fun social media stuff, as friends of mine used to say. And I will catch you in the next video. Much love, everybody. Take care. Play safe.